Good morning, and welcome, compliments of the season. It's a new year, 2022, and it's good to see you. Welcome, Mr. Old friend. Well, this year is the qualifications for World Cup of our junior teams, women, and the men's senior team and the Olympic. And next year is a qualification for junior men team and then the senior women's team. So in 2020, therefore, we focus on the qualifications for under 17 women team, under 20 women team, the Olympic that have already qualified, and then the senior team. Bafana that must qualify for both AFCON and the World Cup. And next year, it just switches. The under 17 men World Cup qualification, under 20 men, and Banyana World Cup qualification. So you can see that we've already on the road. The under 20 team beat Zambia in Zambia. 2-0. They play the return match, and then it's going to be a tough ask because there's only 3 teams from Africa, and the under 17 is even more challenging because only 2 teams go to the World Cup, and these under 17, under 20 women team, and I think we have a strong chance of qualifying for under 17 Women's World Cup and under 20 Women's World Cup. But today, of course, we focus on the qualifications of Bafana for both the African Cup of Nations and the World Cup. The African Cup of Nations, of course, as you heard, there are 2 countries going from out of 4, and it is already a qualification that we started last year. We have 3 points. We play Sao Tome home and away, and then we go on to Sudan before we play Ghana at home. And I think that is going to be a significant match. Not just that it's going to determine who's top of the group, but also give us good insight for the World Cup qualification. So I think it's going to be an exciting year, a year of opportunity for our young footballers, both in the Olympics, African Cup of Nations qualifier, and the World Cup qualifier. And we think that we have done well by playing in 2 consecutive under 20 World Cup, 2 consecutive Olympics, and that our team was in the quarterfinal in Egypt. So there should be players who can compete and meet these challenges. But I'm not a coach. That's why we have coaches that must achieve what we carry in our heart and our hope. So I think it is going to be a huge challenge for Coach Ntseki. Going to be a busy year. And we wish him all the best. So welcome back, Coach 2020. And all the best for the 2 campaigns. And I'm sure that you will work with David Lotwane in preparing the under 23 team for the Olympics. And there too, we want to go to the 2nd round and then see in the knockout stages of the Olympics in Tokyo. Because we've been there before. We've been to Rio. We're going back to Tokyo. We cannot have the same result. So it's a year of planning, a year of preparation, and a year to meet the challenges of the best teams on the continent and in the world. So that's 2020 for South African football.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Compliments of the new year. A new year filled with a lot of football activities, and we are all looking forward to the best performances from each one of our teams. And we are hoping and we believe that as Bafana, as the Olympic team, as the under-20s, both women and men, we will do well. We know for a fact that nothing comes easy. We have to work very hard. We have to spend some sleepless nights so that we can achieve all that we want to achieve. And like I always say, hard work always pays positive dividends. And I think the hard work should not only be from the side of the administration, from the side of SAFA, but hard work should also come from the players themselves. Because I keep on emphasizing that when you play for the national team, you are not only playing for yourself or your families, you are playing for the nation. And in giving respect to the nation, you always try to give your best. And that's what we are working on in the national team, in the Bafana team. And the response has been very positive, and we are very happy, and we're looking forward to that. The lessons learned from losing against Ghana in Ghana and winning against Sudan in South Africa, those are the lessons that will help us going forward, because you always look at yourself through the mirror and look at the faces of the players after they have lost a match. What negativity comes into the team, how best we can hold hands and forge ahead. And I think that's what we got from the players when we lost against Ghana in Ghana. And when we won against Sudan, we were happy to have managed to get the 3 points, but in terms of the goal scoring opportunities and the goals that we scored, we were not happy. And we are fully aware what has to be done going forward. And wherever they are fully working on the things that we spoke about, the things that we have identified. So I wish them all the best of luck wherever they are, whether they are playing overseas or playing locally. We wish them free injuries, because we need all of them for the game we are to play against Sao Tome and Ghana, and the last game will be against Sudan. You can only have the best team if you have got the best players available for selection. So from our side, we've been all over since we last played against Sudan to profile our players, to make the necessary analysis based on the opponents and their qualities. So now that we are from the World Cup draw, we know who to play. So we have already started working on the analysis, the profiling of our opponents, and the type of players that we have to use against those opponents. We know that Ghana is ranked above us. We have lost against Ghana, of which for us it was not like a very poor performance. We made mistakes that we got punished. And we feel when they come here in June, we're going to give them a good run for their money. And again, Ghana has got a new coach, Charles Akuno. We had a chat. He's very excited. He's looking forward to the job as a coach. In terms of our African way of addressing people, he's a young coach. I hope being young, he'll get the support from the players, because the biggest challenge we have as African coaches is always get the support from our players, the respect we deserve from our players, because they're very quick to hit the ceiling with our coaches. They tend to lose respect. They tend to compare us with other people when we are Africans and we were born in this continent. So what I said to him is, if we can get the best out of your players to get respect and tactical discipline, I think you have got a very good opportunity to do well as a coach. Because when you get this position, all that you are praying for, all that you are working on, is to get results. And results can always keep you in the job. If you don't get results, the other door is open. So when it comes to the draw itself, it was a very interesting atmosphere in Egypt, having the Qatar logo displayed all over, and you start thinking of yourself being in Qatar, being within the technical area, helping your team to win matches. So that excitement also, it projects inside you to say, I have to work hard. I have to put every little effort that I have in my body to make sure that we qualify. So we went to the draw expecting to pull out any of those teams that were in the top 40, any of those teams that were in the top 10. And it happened for us to pull out Ghana, of which we know Ghana. And now we have got more like a round robin type of a fixture against Ghana. We have to play 4 matches. We have played 1 already. We are left with 3. And the 3 will always be a tough one, because you have to plan for each and every game you have to play against Ghana. And I think Ghana being ranked number 6 in Africa, we are fully aware as South Africans that for us to qualify for the World Cup, we have to beat the best. We are ranked number 13, and for us to be in the top 5, we have to beat the top 10. We have to beat the top 5 and to be in the top 5. So we are fully aware of our objective and what we want to achieve. So the first game that we have to play in the World Cup will be more of a cup final. Zimbabwe, most of their players are playing in South Africa. We know them, they know us, but we don't know the results between the 2 countries. But we are looking forward to get the maximum points from Ghana, Zimbabwe, and Ethiopia, so that we can be in the top 10. And going into the top 10, we can pull out any of those top African countries, and we have to do our business and win the matches and get into the top 5. So going into the World Cup, I've been to the World Cup under 17, under 20, but this one is a different ball game altogether. It's a senior World Cup, and I think I would love to see my country playing the World Cup in 2022, and then I think I'll come 2nd or 3rd if ever I touch down in Qatar.
Coach, before I hand over to the media, the changes made by CAF to the dates, do they affect your plans?
Yeah, we were actually expecting those changes after I had a chat with Dr. Jordaan about the CAF dates and the fixtures, because we were made aware that the AFCON will be played in January. So we're expecting some changes when it comes to the fixtures. So when we were told that we are no longer playing the World Cup qualifiers during the March FIFA week, the June FIFA week, and the September FIFA week, we had to oblige. It is not much of a challenge, because those fixtures were there already. It was only for us to know who are the opponents. But now that we know who are the opponents, we have already started preparing. So if things goes well for us, of which we are very hopeful and very positive, we play Sao Tome home and away, we play Ghana, then we play Sudan. I think that will be a very good preparation for the team going into AFCON. Because after we have qualified against the last game against Sudan, we will be going into the World Cup. By so doing, I think it will help us, because we'll have regained the momentum, we'll have regained the confidence from our team, from our players. So going into the World Cup, we should have a very strong team going into the qualifiers. And then that will also help us in preparing the team going into AFCON. AFCON also, doing well in the AFCON, will also give us the rhythm that we need, the tactical cohesion in the team, the social cohesion in the team. And then we'll go into the World Cup. And then I see a very bright future when you look at the fixtures themselves, especially when it comes to the team cohesion, team tactical understanding, and the right mood, the positive mood in the team. We continue doing well. It will lead us to the best result and the best success that we are all looking for Bafana.
Thank you very much, Coach. Members of the media, now it's your turn. If you have any questions for either Dr. or Head Coach, if you can just use the mic there, sorry.
Coach, good morning to you.
Morning.
Firstly, club versus country is always a topic what comes up when AFCON gets moved to January. We've seen the likes of Liverpool complaining about their stars and how it's going to affect them, some of the PSL clubs too. How are you going to approach the situation? Is there any indication that the PSL also might, oblige and sort of shift some dates for you? Could you shed some light on that?
I think we've had this challenge over the past years before it was moved to June, and the relationship between SAFA and PSL has been very good. From our side, we'll approach the PSL, present to them the program, the CAF program, and present to them our program, because qualifying, it means you have to go into camp very early during December time to prepare for AFCON. And I think PSL is part of South Africa. PSL is part of our broader football, and they will understand, because for us to present a stronger team in the AFCON, we have to get the best players from the PSL teams, and those best players, we know for a fact that they are playing for their teams, and their teams might be looking to win the league or looking to win the tournament or any cup tournament that is there for the PSL. But when we go to the AFCON, it means the PSL games has to be suspended, because their top players will be in the Bafana team going into AFCON. So we are very positive to continue with the good relationship we have with the PSL, because this has happened before, and we're also looking forward to this one.
Yeah. This week we are supposed. This week we were supposed to have a joint liaison meeting. Now we have a structure where we meet SAFA PSL in the joint liaison committee meeting, and that meeting was scheduled for Wednesday, this Wednesday. Of course, when we got the news of the passing of the wife of our Vice President, Dr. Khoza, we then agreed to postpone it. So that meeting is next week, Wednesday, where this matter is going to be discussed, because it's good, because it's the beginning of the new PSL season. I think this season you all watch, not when it's going to close, but who is going to carry the trophy at the end of the day in this season. So it will give us the opportunity to discuss what is the impact of the coming season. And next week, Wednesday, we're meeting, and probably after that we can give you the detail around what has been agreed in the joint liaison meeting.
Thank you. At the back then.
Thanks. Several for DNC coach, New Year. With regards to your technical team, how far are you in terms of finalizing your technical team? As last time I checked, the likes of your others one were on game-by-game basis. Is it still going to continue like that, or any change?
I think we have engaged the top management of our FA, and that is on the table of the CEO. We are going to have a follow-up meeting with the CEO to finalize, because you don't just come up with names without maybe going through proper channels. So we are currently going through those proper channels, and when that is done, it will be made public. The media will be made aware after we have spoken to those individuals to say, look, we want you to come into Bafana and be of help. And I think if those individuals are attached to certain companies or certain teams, we have to speak to the club, or have to speak to the teams, we have to speak to the companies and to the individuals to say, please come and be of help to your national team. So that process is on.
Coach, you mentioned that you guys have toured all over now that Bafana haven't been playing. Can we just get an update on Thomas Barkhuizen and the talks that you've had with him to link up with Bafana? And of course, SuperSport confirmed that Dean Furman will be leaving local football at the end of the season. Just your thoughts on his leaving and whether or not it will affect his Bafana future.
Yeah, I think let us start with the last one. The last one is on Dean Furman. I think Dean Furman is one of those players who was discovered by South African coaches to come and play for Bafana whilst he was playing in England. And I think he did us proud in terms of his performances coming into the national team, playing in Europe. And in the last camp, we had a situation where some of our players had challenges when it comes to traveling, coming into the national team and having to go back. And when they go back, they sit on the bench, they don't play because of the traveling. So we had to use Dean Furman because of his experiences to speak to those players, to explain to them the challenges and the sacrifices that you'll always make to play for your national team. And I think that was of great help to have him talking to those players. And when it comes to Dean Furman, maybe going back to England, having to stay with his family in England, we haven't had anything from Dean Furman. As far as we are, Dean Furman is still available for Bafana selection whenever he's selected. We haven't had anything from SuperSport when it comes to Dean Furman. We haven't had anything from his agent when it comes to him leaving South Africa. Maybe part of the fears will be him retiring from Bafana. So we still have Dean Furman as our vice captain whenever he's selected into the team. So I think he has done very well for South African football coming into SuperSport and also playing for Bafana, because I think it's Bafana that brought Dean Furman to South Africa. SuperSport saw him playing for Bafana and they ended up getting him into the country. So I think we still need him. I think he's still doing well for SuperSport, and that's where Bafana for the past years have been getting Dean Furman from SuperSport. So that is the situation with the Dean Furman.
Okay.
That one, I think it is the same. We have to answer it the same way as I've answered when it comes to the technical team, because part of the proposal that is ongoing now is to have a chief scout, is to have a selection committee. Yes, I have identified, we have discussed Thomas Bakhuizen. We do have his video clips, but the decision to bring him here and to make him part of Bafana, it's a process, and that process is still very much on. He played last week and he did well. He scored. We are still following him. We are still very interested in him. But we have just had a little chat with Dr. Jordaan now before we came in to say the program of going overseas and making profiling of every South African player, it's on, and we have to close it, and then the paperwork and everything has to be done. So not only him, but many other players that will be looking at and trying to bring them to Bafana.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very little from the Happy New Year, Coach. At least we were here with the President in one of the recent weeks. I was going to follow up on the issue of the technical team, because you'll recall even with your predecessor, almost till he left, we were discussing his technical team. So I was not on the agency of it. But I wanted to ask you about the type of the technical team. If you can just give us the type of strengthening that you want to do, which type of individuals are you looking for? And also in terms of refreshing your team, the under-23 is also preparing for the Olympics. And I recall a question you got in Ghana. You said when they come to play us, it will be a different Bafana when you're asked. So with these changes, where does it leave you in terms of refreshing this team?
Let us start with the type of the qualities that you want to bring into our technical team. Firstly, I think it is the quality that you want to bring into Bafana as players, because when you profile the likes of Ghana, the likes of Sudan, the likes of Zimbabwe and Ethiopia, these are teams that are highly physical. An added advantage to Ghana is that they have got highly talented players that are playing overseas and that are doing very well. So we are also working very hard to get the best out of our players in terms of understanding that talent alone is not going to win us games. We have to be mentally very strong. We have to be physically very strong. We have to play a high intensity type of a game so that we can overcome our opponents. Because when you look at it, the game has become very fast. The game has become very tactical. And now of late, you have seen a lot of IT being involved in football. So we are also working towards improving our play, improving our players along those lines. So it means we are to have a highly technical team. I hope the technical side of it.
They must be IT smart.
Yeah, on the technical side. But at the same time, we need to have IT smart individuals in the team, because the game has become very, very, very difficult, very challenging now of late. So we want to have a full-time video analyst who will be helping us in player analysis, player profiling, and be able to get the physical records and the stats from the clubs where they are playing, from the physical trainer, so that when you talk of a high-intensity game, we should be able to equate the results of their physical test with that one of them playing in the Bafana team. So currently, we are also working on that aspect of bringing somebody who is very knowledgeable when it comes to video analysis, so that we can add value to our team. When it comes to the technical team, we are also looking for people with, I would say, a rich background of being involved with Bafana. Like currently we have Coach Moloto, who is our technical advisor. The reason being he has been there before, he has seen it all, and he's currently involved in football at a technical level, having helped the Sundowns to win the Champions League and currently playing in the Champions League. So this is the man who will always bring some insight into African players. So when it comes to the assistant coaches, we are also looking for somebody who is highly qualified, because qualification comes with knowledge, qualification comes with experience, and somebody who has got a very good background when it comes to African football, because currently we are playing to qualify for the AFCON. Somebody who has got an AFCON experience, whether at junior level or senior level, because player management at Bafana is the most important thing to get the best out of your players. So these are the type of people that you're talking about. And currently we have Kabelo Rangwaha, who is our condition trainer, with so much experience in Africa and with so much knowledge in terms of his studies when it comes to football conditioning. So you have Andrea Renze, who has been, who was a Bafana #1 goalkeeper, having won the 1996 AFCON, and currently doing very well for SuperSport. So these are the type of people that we are looking into. Then you have South African way of defining age. We have got a young coach in Coach Arthur Zwane, who can relate very well to the players, because they can also remember how he was when he was playing. And whenever he has to talk to the players, they'll always listen. And listening, it means they will always give him respect. And this is the type of composition that you're talking about. So I hope the composition, the personnel, will bring us success.
Refreshing the team.
Yeah, under 23, I think we are working together with the technical team of the under 23, with the head coach, Coach David Notwane. Yes, we are more interested in some of the players, but like what the president said, we just want to go to the Olympics and leave a mark. We don't just want to go to the Olympics and be counted among the top 16 teams that were in the Olympics. So we are also looking forward to strengthen that team. We are not going to weaken that team by taking some of their best players currently, because we have a team that has been doing well. So we want to see them also doing well in the Olympics and going further the stages in the tournament.
We'll take the last 2 questions, maybe one, okay? Or two. Mr. Beth, the last one. Yes, sir.
Hi, Coach. William Charles with Sunderworld. We are Bafana meeting Ghana. Both we've already played one game, both in AFCON as well as the World Cup. For you, do you see it as an advantage to have one over them? How do you, going forward, see us beating them in both the qualifiers of AFCON and World Cup? As much as they also have an advantage, they know us.
Yeah, I think the quality of players that we spoke about in terms of how we want to prepare the team going forward, I think that will work for us, because we have seen, we have analyzed the qualities of Ghana, and in effecting some changes in the team, in making sure that we do well against Ghana, we win matches. It will depend more on the approach on the day and the type of players we'll be bringing into camp. But I think all that is important is that when we played them in Ghana, it was not like Ghana being all over us. We did not present ourselves very well. I think we did very well, apart from conceding those 2 goals. And with the profiling that we are doing now of the players that we want to bring into camp, there will be some new faces, faces that will bring some hunger into the team to achieve more as Bafana players. And in doing so, we are also saying with the technical team, we also want to do well. And doing well, it means we must do our homework very well. We must prepare very well for Ghana, because I look at it to be more like playing in the PSL, where you play a team twice or where you play a team 4 times, depending on the fixture and also the cups or the tournaments you will be going to play. So you'll always have plan B, plan C, plan A when it comes to the tactical approach going into Ghana. Whether defensively or offensively, you must be able to plan accordingly to win such matches, because it's an A game. So an A game always wants an A game performance. And our players and ourselves, we also fully aware that we have to present an A game performance against Ghana.
Last question here.
My question is to Dr. Jordaan. I know it's still a few months away, but have talks around the overage player for the Olympics started, and how closely will Coach Molefi be working with Coach David for the selection of those overage players?
I think that's a question for the coach. But of course, as we indicated, the complication that we have is that now that they've amended the dates for AFCON, you can see that March up to June, July, August, the Olympics, and then the World Cup Qualifiers. So they would also, and it is a jam-packed domestic fixture also. And some of the players of Bafana are also key in hoping to win trophies and medals for their team. And therefore they would have to consider all those things. Because if the players come back from the Olympics injured or totally drained, and then we go into World Cup qualifiers. So it's not an issue for me. It's a matter for the coach, and the coach has just told you all the conditioning coaches and all of the people that they have. They must make the assessment and identify those players. But where there's an obvious need for strengthening of the Olympic team, we have to strengthen it so that the team can perform. But I think essentially the coach, it's a question for you, I think.
Yeah, I think when you started addressing the media, you said we are working very closely with Coach David Notwani, and that's exactly how it is. The first selection of the Olympic team was done by the two of us, myself and Coach David. And going into the qualifiers and every game that he has played, we have been working very closely with each other. We've been sharing ideas, we've been profiling players. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon because now we can look back and see the success of working together, of sharing whatever little information that we have. Because even when I go out to profile and assess players in the PSL, I'm always looking for also the under 23 players. Last time when I was in Maritzburg, I was looking for an under 23 player from Amazulu. Unfortunately, on the day he did not play. So these are the players that we are looking out and giving report to the head coach of the under 23. As much as we also discuss some players in the senior Bafana team.